Okay, so Freeform works like this. You simply open a new part. You decide what shape you want. And you often have options as to what how many faces and stuff. Anyway, it needs to find a plane to base it on and a point. And once it goes there, you then start changing the number of faces. And so of course on this one you've got 2. So if I made that 4, I can make that 2. And it gives you a rough shape. So those are, it's in inches. Now the nice thing is all of this can be edited. So for example, if I hit edit form, and there's a bunch of other stuff you can see, you can either edit a point. So if I turn on the point button, I can then see all the points. And when I click on the point, it gives me this little symbol. Now the symbol, I can't zoom in on it because it tends to just shrink with the part. But essentially it means we've got X, Y, and Z axis. And these are the degrees of freedom of a point. And everything in life has degrees of freedom. So we've got 3 linear. So we've got X, Y, and Z. So those are the 3 directions. So you just grab it with the arrow and pull it. And then we have 3 which are rotational. So we got 6 degrees of freedom in total. And that's not doing anything because that's not really. But if I rotate that way, I can rotate. Let's try it on another one. So if I go to this one and try rotating it, you often will see the line starts to twist. Let's do it with an edge, and that should work better. So if I twist that edge, you'll see it twist the whole shape. So the other thing that you can do with these things is you use symmetry. So watch this carefully so that you can understand it. So if I go to symmetry and I make these 2 faces symmetrical, then hit OK. I have one plane of symmetry there. So now if I go and edit, say, this face here and pull it out, you'll see the other side also pulls out. If I edit this point here, that point pulls out. So you can actually do really interesting shapes very quickly. And I don't think we really have figured out the limits of this. It is pretty much amazing what you can do with it. One thing you have to watch, though, listen carefully, is if you pull something right through itself too far and try to hit OK, it won't let you. And the reason for that is you're trying to do something that's impossible. So in other words, if you try to fold it over itself, it won't work. Now, the next thing about this is when you finish the form, it puts it into a solid, and you can actually, first of all, you can color the whole thing here. So let's do engine tuned. And you can also highlight any of the faces which it leaves and change the color of them. So you have all sorts of options in terms of shape and form. And so if you need to edit the form again, then simply go to double click on the form over here, or right click edit, and you're back to editing the form. You can also put new forms into the same model, and there are things where you can bridge and create edges and all this stuff. So I found that quite tricky. But you can have a look at that. And I saw, yeah, has anyone got a question about that? So try that out. I have not looked on YouTube to see if there are videos, but essentially the takeaway here is there are 6 degrees of freedom, and it's linear X, Y, and Z. And then it's rotational. So that would be rotational X, rotational Y, which would be like this, and then rotational Z, which would be spinning that way. So if you think of a snowboarder or skier doing aerial tricks, they have all 6 degrees of freedom to some extent because they can spin and so on. And that's about it.